Hello, hello, hello. This is Valencia, and I am with Valencia's Voice That Echoes in the Earth Realm. I am back with another message as it relates to Divine Feminine, Karmic Mother, who is also a Black Widow. I want to say that my energy is so much better than yesterday. Right after I finished the message, I immediately felt like some guilt and even some shame, which is normal. Anytime you start to talk about or expose any type or form of, abuse, and you have to definitely process that information. Did some prayer, some meditation, and Spirit just told me, don't stop, keep going, because this is a part of your healing process, being able to release and free yourself so that the strongholds that she had over you no longer confine you, right? Whether you consciously knew it or not. Spirit is saying, just continue to speak your truth. Your intent is not to be malice or cause harm of any kind, but you're speaking about things that have happened in your lifetime that has caused, certain situations to happen, which has caused you some misfortune. It's caused you some hardship. It's definitely created, traumatic experiences in your life. And it is very important for you to continue on this journey. You understand? And it's not just even about me, but it's also about my daughter, making sure that she's not carrying on any, toxic traits or any generational things that, can be cleared out and cleaned up. And so that is the importance of this. Spirit was also saying that, sometimes when you come out and you speak about things that have happened in the past, more specifically when you're kind of like in the spiritual realm and Spirit gives you information, more specifically in my case, some of the things that I did disclose, I did talk about, they were things from when I was very, very, young. And from this perspective, there's no way I could have known any of these things that have happened. Again, I don't know nothing about my family. They can't be transpired. But what Spirit is saying, that if there is a need to defend and present these things in a matter of a fact way, that there can, that it can be done. Okay. So piggyback on, this is part 2, piggyback up from yesterday, talking about the karmic mother and the Black Widow. And the Black Widow, what she does is, she consumes her host after she gets what it is that she needs, the inheritance, the money, the property, the value. And in my case, there was a large inheritance that was received that I never received. And what Spirit is saying is that there's ways to verify bank accounts, whether the bank accounts are closed. There's ways to verify purchases of homes that was used with the money that belong to me. There's ways to verify vehicles that were purchased that belong to me. There was a bank account that was open that had my name, my mother's name, and another sibling's name. I'm not going to even do that right there. And that can be verified. You understand? So Spirit said that let's, allow me to do what I need to do, which is to speak my truth so that I can release this. But when it comes back to, people trying to make you look crazy or say that things are not what they are, Spirit says that there is a way to verify everything. Cold cases can become open. You understand? There's always a way to verify and stamp things that need to be approved. And again, there's no way that I could have knowledge of any of this information other than it coming from the Most High God. Okay. And again, because I decided to elevate, activate, and awaken, things have been being bestowed upon me. Epiphanies have been coming, messages, synchronicities, and all these things so that I can continue to heal. Okay. And so one of the biggest things about this healing process is Spirit was saying that as a young child, one of the methods that was most definitely used was attacking the inner child, right? So the inner child didn't feel loved. The inner child didn't feel safe. The inner child didn't feel protected. And as such, that created a sense of wanting to, be close to this mother that was very verbally abusive. Now, what I can say, I can probably count on my hands the number of times that I actually got a beating from her. But what she would do is she would allow her friends and my older siblings to beat us when we did get in trouble. And she said it hurt her heart to do it. But I think that she was scared that she might actually hurt us if she actually beat us, because she would come enraged. Okay. Spirit is also telling me that as it relates to this Black Widow and the whole logic behind what happened, there had to been some type of traumatic issue that happened in her lifetime, right, where she was not able to take care of her children. Spirit is saying that there may have been relationships where maybe the men that she married, she didn't necessarily really marry for love, and maybe they didn't really marry her for love, but they married because this is what they wanted to do. And so as a result, it created some type of anger, and it created some type of resistance towards anybody that was experiencing that, more specifically those that she was dealing with. I don't really know what that story is. This is just what's being downloaded to me. And it's just trying to, I guess Spirit is trying to help me make sense of, why, you would, do these things to these children and their children's mothers. You understand? And there's really no real logic, but I really don't know her backdrop. I don't know her history. I don't know her story, so I can't go there. So in that part, I'm really kind of assuming, because I really don't know that history. But in any event, Spirit is saying that there was knowledge of my mother prior to my foster mother adopting me. They may have had some type of connection, some type of run-in, in, like the governmental system, social service system, whatever that may have been. And that may have been a way that she came across her or visiting her in the state in which, she lived. Okay. But what Spirit is saying as it relates to attacking the inner child, once the inner child feels unsafe and the inner child doesn't have a safety net, again, they're longing for, family connection, love. And it doesn't matter if it's abuse, or it doesn't matter if it's, not something that feels good. They're just wanting that connection, that intimacy, and that love. And so Spirit is saying a big part of me being able to speak this story and speak this truth about what has happened is that it is allowing me to allow the inner child to know that that she is safe from her, like she can't hurt her anymore. And it's the same for you guys. Once you are able to start freeing yourself and releasing, however Spirit is telling you to do that. Therapy is always good. Prayer is good. Self-healing is good, especially when you're being guided and elevated by the Most High God. All these things are good. You allow your inner child, you allow your inner teenager, your inner adult to know that they are finally free and that this person cannot hurt you anymore. And what Spirit was saying is that there would be instances and times where, she would tell me that my mom wasn't coming back, that my mom didn't love me, and all these other things. And then Spirit also indicated that, the reason why maybe the dad didn't come into the picture or what have you is because, he may have been some type of, big time street pharmacist that, did very well for himself in that arena. And it didn't give him an opportunity to connect. I don't know what that story is either when it comes to that aspect of my life. But when it comes to this inheritance, the reason why Spirit is saying that, again, why she had to keep me so close was because there was so much money that was involved that required me to be alive. And one of the things that Spirit revealed to me, it was actually made aware that there were some installments of payments that were happening that was supposed to be guaranteed college funds that I never received. And again, taxes can be pulled, bank accounts can be reviewed. I never received any of this money. Okay. They progressed as I was to get older in life. And so this is why, I had to be kept so close. But then this is also why I had to be, put to sleep as it relates to my gifts and my talents and all these other things. Because again, I told you, I question everything. Okay. And, what Spirit is saying is that when you have a narcissist parent, it's like they love you, but they actually like really they hate your existence. And there's always one that they really like hate the most. And to everybody else, it just seems like, oh, they love you the most, and they're always praising you, and they're always uplifting you, and they're always talking about you. But really, in all actuality, they're very jealous. They're very envious. They're very like they have like they're almost seething at the result of like looking at you and hearing people praise and talk about you. I remember having a conversation with one of my older foster sisters one time, and she was saying, Ma has a hard time when things are not about her. And, it just don't sit well with her. And, she'll kind of like go off. And I'm like, you don't think that that's not normal? Like that you have a hard time dealing with things that are not like about you? Like that's not normal. And so, when I and I'm trying to piece these things together, guys, so I'm sorry if it seems like it's a little all over the place. But, when I started to wake up and I started to go to church, I started praying, I started, connecting to God, asking, God, I think that there's more to life than this. And I want to identify, who I am and, what my purpose is and all these other things. Spirit said that when I started that journey, that really started to pull the strongholds off, right? And it started to really expose who she was in my life. But I chose to start ignoring those signs. And as a result, because of like the jealousy and the envy, she started mimicking like the things that I was doing. So like I said, I started to go to church. I started doing like the prayer line. I started serving in the prayer ministry at church and all these other things. And all of a sudden, my mom hasn't been to like church or anything like in years, maybe since we were like teenagers. But as soon as I started doing these things, she all of a sudden started going to church, and then she all of a sudden started doing prayer calls, and then she all of a sudden started doing, it was just like everything that I was doing, she was doing. And again, she was looking into the future to see these things that were happening. Even like with her buying the house that she brought, she knew that I was going to buy the house, which I think she got the house maybe a year or two. It might even have been 3 years before I actually purchased my own first home, which again, the money that she used to purchase that home with was my inheritance. Okay, I never like actually lived in that house. Okay, and what Spirit is saying is that she felt like I was like trying to outdo her, like it was a competition. And it had nothing to do with, who she was. It had everything to do with, me trying to enlighten myself. Okay, and so like with I'm learning about astrology and things like that, with my water signs and things like that, naturally I'm a leader, right? In any environment, not like trying to be like the boss or anything like that, but naturally I'm a leader. Like I lead because that's just who I am, what I do. Again, not trying to be cocky or arrogant or, try to say that I don't follow, because I know how to lead and I know how to follow, but naturally I'm a leader. And so as such, with me going away to school, me graduating, me getting all these degrees, me having my own house, my own car and things like that, my siblings, even some of my older siblings would, kind of look up to me and ask me questions and things like that. And it threatened her matriarch. And she would say things like, I'm the head of this family and all these other things, and me not paying any mind because, I'm the closest thing to her. I would sit down in the kitchen and living room, talk with her all day. She would fuss and complain about other siblings, and it would pass right over my head that she was like telling me like, I'm the matriarch of the family. You're not the matriarch, but I'm the matriarch of the family. And so, what Spirit was saying is that, as I started to elevate and activate, and my siblings were seeing this, it like started to produce a change in them, for them wanting to do better, for them wanting to be better in life. And it was something that she didn't like, because she no longer was like having control. Now, Spirit said another thing that really like tipped her over the edge as it related to me, and her becoming even more aggressive as it relates to like really starting to put like spell work on me and hexes, and having, going to people from different cultures to put root work on me. And now, mind you, all of my siblings have root work on them in some form, in some fashion, in some way. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Okay, so it's not just me. Okay, all of them have root work on them in some way, in some form, and she has done it. Okay, even her blood children. Okay, all of them have root work on them. Okay. Spirit said that the reason why she started getting extremely aggressive with me with this work was because my little brother got tired of, things that were happening in the home. And that's his story to tell. I'm not going into that. But he ended up coming to stay with me for a little while because he no longer wanted to live there. And that pissed her the HE double hockey sticks off. Okay. And again, remember, she's telling me, she's prompting me. I'm the matriarch of this family. I'm the head of this family. Okay. And I'll do anything for my siblings. And I always have. I am a very family oriented person. I will do anything to help them. I'll give them shirt off my back. I'll give them my last dollar. And I've always been that way. So when the little brother was saying, hey, I want to get up out of here, I'm going to try something different. I was good. I wasn't trying to say like, oh, I'm trying to be the mother or anything like that. And Spirit is saying that that's really what sent her off the edge on trying to, really try to get me. Okay. And she sat on it for a long time before she actually started doing, the real heavy root work. Another thing that set her off the edge is one of my older siblings dealt with some type of substance abuse problems. And I was able to get her to go get help for this addiction. Okay. And as a result, again, this pissed her the hell off because the only way that she could really keep this sibling bound was to keep her inebriated in whatever substance that she was in. And she's really had the stronghold over this sibling, almost like she really was the main one that was really kind of like getting the worst of it. But in our eyes, she appeared to be like the favorite sibling. But in all actuality, this is what the narcissist parent does. That one that looks the favorite is the one that's getting the most work, the most abuse, the most attacks. Okay. And so, because I was able to kind of help these two siblings, and these are the ones that